That's all right. And here we are. Welcome in, Gyms and Gymettes, to another exciting edition of No Substitute for Sports. I'm your host, Nick Johnson. This is episode 49. Can you believe it?
Wow.
49. And no Cole for Christmas. I got something even worse. A calendar. There's only 3 days left, dude. There's only 3 days left in the year. Come on. What are we doing? Happy holidays, everyone. Happy New Year's if we don't see you from now. And if you're just watching us in the year of 2024, Happy New Year. Welcome on in. How you doing? Thank you, as always, for tuning into the No Substitute for Sports podcast on the Degenerates Network YouTube page. If you're just stumbling upon us, hit that like button. And also, hit that subscribe button, too. That also helps us out as well. Tell your friends. Tell us all about it. Who else can we tell? Tell your doctor. As tell everybody.
Tell anyone you know.
You can follow us on Twitter at Degenerates, and every Thursday, 2 p.m. Central. Did it earlier today. I go live, twitch.tv/SportsTownShy for No Substitute for Sports live, cleaning up anything we don't get to here, and well, anything else in between. Finally, subscribe on YouTube and like it on Facebook. X-Bomb Sports, not X-Bomb Sporks, X-Bomb Sports. We're over there on Bad Karma Wrestling. That's the wrestling show that we do. My co-host and I, Double D, David D. Dykstra, talking wrestling, big shows, results, everything else in between. So appreciate all the love and support over there as well. Ready?
So much to talk about. So much to talk about.
Yes. Getting better every week.
Oh.
We're getting there. Bears barely fly by the Cardinals. Yeah, the Bears don't fly, but the Cardinals do. Packers, how about the Bears? Barely. And the rest of week 16 in the NFL. Next, talking fantasy football as we move on to our championship round in our personal league playoffs. We'll recap and preview. But always worthwhile, keep staying there because we got some NFL news that's always worth listening to. Got a few college football playoff predictions that we have. There we go. We'll get to that. Finally, a look into AEW's World's End match card. There you go. That'll be the last pay-per-view on the year. Exciting. Who is the devil? We'll get to that. All that, tons more in between. But before we get underway, let me introduce to you my friend and co-host, the founder and CEO of Fat Cat _streams. And that's with a Z, Mikey J. Fat Cat, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing good, man. It's been a great Christmas, great holidays in general, and I'm ready to get this rocking and rolling.
Yes, dude. Tons of fun. Did you do anything special like usual? Anything fun?
Oh,
we were in the Fat Cat household.
Yeah, spending some time Christmas Eve with our sister and her husband's side of the family, and then we were over at our family's house, our parents, for Christmas. Me and my brother stayed over there, so it was nice hanging out with everyone and seeing some old relatives and all that fun stuff. So great holidays all in general. How about you?
Yeah, man? Absolutely. Same here. Got to enjoy tons of family time. Because we, had that family incident that happened, my very unfortunate thing, but everyone came to the house this year. So for me, didn't have to go nowhere on Christmas Day. So that was nice.
Yeah.
Went to the Bears game Christmas Eve, got to enjoy a win. We'll get to that a little bit later, but all around so far, so good. And just, anxiety's high, just waiting on this fantasy football championship round. That's all we'll I'm really worried about that really. So That's been that. That's like I said, glad to hear everything's all has been well. And we also got to enjoy a film. I already saw it twice. You actually went and saw it twice too. We saw it once together on the initial drop day. Went and saw Iron Claw. So spoilers ahead. Obviously, the Iron Claw is the Von Erich brothers, the Von Erich family story. It's filled with tragedy, filled with unfortunate incidents left and right. So not only spoiler alerts, but maybe even just a tissue alert, because you might be sad from all this sad information. But just initial thoughts on the film. I went when I saw it the first time, obviously went in and loved it. Didn't know what we were gonna get. Second time I went in, obviously saw it and was just kind of more or less just trying to focusing on the smaller aspects, just like, oh, how was that camera angle? How was that scene? Was that a smooth transition? I was looking for stuff like that. And I did also pick up on a few things that I didn't see the first time, so that was pretty cool. But Yeah, I just want to get your initial thoughts just from top to bottom. You had told me that you weren't aware of all the Von Erich story, not really any of it at all. I myself, I was somewhat new, but not to the full extent. I obviously learned a ton myself. So what were your thoughts on the Iron Claw?
I thought it was very well done, great movie overall in general. I mean, A24, I feel like never disappoints that studio, and I'm glad that they grabbed this movie and decided to tell this story. I think it's
And there's already news that they want to do more wrestling related movies, so that's pretty
wow.
cool. Yeah.
As a wrestling fan, I love it, and I'm sure you do as well.
Oh,
I mean,
absolutely.
give us all the wrestling stuff, and it was definitely a good learning experience for me to know what happened to them. They obviously don't tell everything in the movie. You can only say so much and include so much, but I feel like they
Yeah, they
did
do
it.
a lot in 2 hours,
Yeah,
honestly.
I think they did a good
Not too
job
much. Not
with
too
what
much.
they do, with what they had. Yeah, and it's all a good ending at the end of it. I feel it's a good happy ending, even though it's such a sad story, I feel like, but they're able to culminate everything into this good happy ending. So I enjoy that. But yeah, it's a very, very sad movie. I did not know all of that. I didn't know any of that stuff. I just assumed one of the brothers passed away or something. I didn't know. I mean, yeah, again, we
The whole
said
family
spoiler
gets killed.
alert, but yeah, I mean, they all pass away except for Kevin Von Erich, I think, right?
Yeah.
So he's the one that's still alive right now, and some of his sons were cooking it up in AEW recently.
Yeah.
So it would be kind of cool if Tony Khan did sign them, just because of everything around them right now. But yeah, I mean, I thought it was a great movie. Zac Efron was great in it. One of his best films for sure. He'll probably get nominated for some sort of award for this movie, I think. And Jeremy Allen White and all of the other actors in it are great too. I mean, I think the acting is great. It's a good story. All the wrestling scenes in it are awesome.
Yeah. Some were vouching and praising for how realistic it was. And I gotta say the same thing is while it wasn't like over the top, like, oh my God, 5 stars within a movie,
Yeah,
it wasn't just like absurdly awful. You know what I'm saying? Like
no,
just
it was
when
good.
they're just like comedically bad, like, all right, well, bang, like, oh my God. It wasn't like that. It was very much very much realistic to the wrestling standard. So shout out to Chavo Guerrero, who was basically the head person training Zac Efron and well, I always get Walker Wheeler, wasn't it Wheeler, not Wheeler Walker Jr., but what Jeremy
Yeah,
Allen.
Jeremy Allen White.
Okay, that's his name. Okay.
I'm not sure who played David. I don't know what his name
No,
is,
but
but
he did a phenomenal job. I thought he was low key one of the better parts of it. Obviously, everyone had a good piece, but the guy, the person that played David, I thought he played a solid part.
yeah.
Looked like Matt McCusker, one of those comedians, one of Shane Gillis's friends on the
Okay.
podcast. I thought it was so. Hopefully, they talk about that. I hope they get a kick out of that. I thought that was hilarious, but overall pretty solid. You blink, you miss it. MJF spot was gone, cut, but not important. That was just one of my main gripes in it overall. I didn't have enough MJF in it, but he got an executive producer nod in it, so that's worth it. Uh, yeah, overall, just getting into the story. I thought it was broken down very, very nice. Just you get to see that it's just the enemy or whoever is the main focus behind all this trouble. It is more or less the father, and it's not the superstition of like the this curse that the name brings that they all think is just from that. It's just their father pushing them too hard, them not being able to overcome that thought of like not being loved by their family or something like that. When you come to find out from the way that they're building up in the movie, not only is the father awful, the mother's just as awful with the side comments that she makes and other stuff like that. It's still a little bit sympathetic because you got to bury your son and stuff like that. But sons, but overall, both parents look pretty bad.
Yeah.
And I think that if it's like that, it was like that. It
I
was
mean, Kevin approved the movie, so
yeah,
it must have
it was
been
no secret.
accurate in some way.
Yeah, exactly. It was no secret that their father was a bit of a monster. And that kind of made sense that looking back when I saw it the first time, if you see the only time the father is close to tears is when Carrie gets taken back from the Olympics. That's the only time. He has 3 sons in that movie that die.
Yeah.
So that's the only time you really see emotion out of him, whether that's him just putting on a front or something like that. But that's the only time it's depicted in that film. I also found it interesting that the only time you see the family all together is during the worst parts when just things are falling apart. When exactly that whole meeting on the couch when you find out the Olympics are getting canceled. There's also the scene when basically every time the post meal when a son is getting buried, there's always one of those. I always thought that was just least interesting to note.
Yeah.
But I first when I first saw the movie, I didn't like Zac Efron's interpretation or just how he was acting or just how it was. I thought maybe it was lazy, but when I saw it again, I was like, okay, actually there was some care. Everyone did give a fuck. Maybe I just was like overanalyzing it for a second. So that was just like a quick blur. But no, I think everyone did a phenomenal job, honestly. And that ode to there was obviously a couple parts that choked me up, and that was for sure when everyone gets cooked and they all meet again in the afterlife. I thought that was maybe a nice ode to Kevin.
Yeah.
Maybe that was a nice little his idea of like, oh, finally all my brothers are back together, and I kind of gives him like a visual interpretation of that now. So I thought that was a really, really nice very nice scene. And then of course the closing one when he's there. I don't want to give the actual basically the last scene away, but what the kids say is anytime a kid's are involved, that's going to get you by the heartstrings for sure. So overall, phenomenal. Other side comments that I had are just very early on when the sports auditorium is cooking and going, tailgating in a wrestling event. Hell yeah, brother. Bring it on. I thought that was the coolest thing on the planet. I'm sure. And that's definitely what used to happen back in the day when that was the only thing worthwhile in the late 70s, early 80s. Obviously, no need to even get into it, but that Ric Flair actor was the worst thing on the planet.
Yeah.
We could have done something. How about something like that? How about that? Hollywood, call us. Yeah, not that hard. And just do any sort of accent for any. It was god awful. It was awful. It was awful.
They couldn't have that was the best guy because you have auditions. That was the best choice that they had. How?
Couldn't believe it.
Like how?
It took me out of it for a quick second, and I got right back into it. But that was really, really the worst part. Didn't mention Chris, the other brother that they had apparently, so we had to all Google that one.
Yeah, the director said that he felt Chris and Michael's stories were too similar to each other, and he thought another death in the movie would have already just brought the audience down even more.
Yeah. So I didn't get into. Okay, so I'm glad you looked into that.
Which I could see the side, but I feel like you should include him just because it's true. It's not like you're making this.
No, yeah, I can see it from both sides.
But yeah, like I said, I can see it.
Yeah, what's made why make it another 15 minutes just for another death? Like there's no need for that. Let's get the extended cut and we'll talk. There was just a couple other side things that I thought were just not at the time. I thought they were super important, but it turns out not really. They were really subtle, which I ended up upon watching it again and thinking upon it more. I was just like, oh, that's actually I'm glad that they did that. It wasn't just so in your face like the story of WCCW World Classic Championship Wrestling. I believe that's what it stood for. Basically rising to such popularity, and then slowly over time it failed, and you don't really realize that if you're paying attention. Like in the beginning, it's super roarous, just rocking crowds, and then slowly but surely, as the brothers are getting picked off, the crowds are much smaller. Kevin's in a much smaller role. I also thought Carrie, them not pointing out how important or how much he was hiding his foot injury. Like even my mom didn't know until afterward. Like I had to point that out to her. And yeah, I was like, oh yeah, no, that was
because I said the same thing to you.
Very much hidden under the table, and that's why what ended up happening. I think they got the news broke that he only had one foot, so slowly but surely they weren't going to give him a new contract or just put him on house shows like he ended up saying in the movie. So. Unfortunate situation. And then I think his brother, that story was probably one of the most tragic ones, but can't really rate tragedy. Otherwise, I think the biggest travesty, honestly, just like I said earlier, MJF's scene getting cut. So other than that, overall, I just hope it wins every award that it can and every sort of whatever award show that they give out, the Teen Choice Awards, the Grammys, the Emmys, I just named everything that isn't the movies, the Academy Awards, the Golden Globes, everything, all those actual ones. I hope it gets all those and more and more. So yeah, I think that was just about it. Is any other final thoughts on Iron Claw? Go see it.
Yeah, go see it. Thank you, A24, for letting me learn about this story in this way. And yeah, just all in all, it was very good.
Yeah, as wrestling fans, like I said, didn't feel insulted, didn't feel like we were getting catered to or babied the entire time. And it wasn't one of those, like, again, where you didn't need to be a super smart fan to get everything.
No,
it was just there was the only other small part, and again, I can kind of overlook it as well, is just one, Bruiser Brody was ginormous. I don't know. He was like 6'8". I don't think they really didn't like show how big he was. And the meeting between Bruiser Brody, whoever's tag partners, I forgot the name. Gino. Ryan.
That's at least who I think was playing the guy.
Yeah, that could be true. that could be true. But when they're all in the hall, I think if they're in the locker room, I have a gripe with it. If they're in the hallway, I'm okay with it. When they're all meeting and they're like, oh, we're gonna do this and we're gonna do that, we're gonna do this, that wouldn't happen. They usually call in the ring one, and heels and faces were never in the same locker room. But again, if they're just catching each other in the hallway right before, I can maybe let it slide. But the scene, they didn't really show you what where and how it was. So again, for now, I'll let it slide. So I don't know. That's
it was just a quick scene.
A24, you slid by just like that, like the skin of your teeth.
Chavo allowed it, so
yeah, sure. That is true. Yeah, overall, solid film. Can't wait to
I'll have it on DVD for sure.
Yeah,
it'll be one of those movies I'll always have.
Another fumble in this ball game as we're still watching the Thursday night ball game. Yeah, I think that's a 40 with a fumble.
And I gotta see the wrestler with Mickey.
Yes, dude.
I've never seen that in my.
Just watched that a little while ago. I had to. It was on TV, and I was watching with just by myself. The gal came down. She's like, "What's this?" I'm like, "It's the greatest movie of all time."
Wow.
It isn't, but I mean, I love it because it is a great representation of what, being an older wrestler would have been going into the indie scene like that, like trying to recreate your career. So that I'll leave that for you. I'm not going to spoil that. So phenomenal film. I have it on DVD. If you want to watch it, we can.
There you go.
If you're good on that, good on Iron Claw, good on just Christmas in general.
Yeah.
We need some football. How's that sound?
Let's do it.
Awesome possum. I got some Bears talk. I got some game experience to get into. You got your Packers and the Panthers. Which one do you want to talk about first?
I guess I'll get the Packers out of the way right now.
Whoosh.
Just so you can dive into all your Bears stuff.
Oh yeah, no, I talked a little bit about it over on the No Substitute for Sports live. Oh no, I did it on Sports Pit. You want to hear my experience about it? Check out the Sports Pit STC over on Spotify. That's what we were. It's a way to upload basically everything daily. And I talked about my experience there for sure. But yeah, I'll double down right here. We'll go ahead and talk about your Packer guys helping out the Bears a little bit, beating those Panthers.
Yeah, I mean I was on my way over to my parents when the game was going on, so I missed some of it, but I was watching it on my phone. I could not believe the Packers were almost going to lose this game. For a second, I was messaging you.
Yeah.
And we were like, Packers got it. And then the Panthers somehow scored immediately.
I felt so bad. 30. As soon as I left my fingers, I'm like, I knew what I did. I'm so sorry. I did not mean to do that.
But the Packers, and betting a little responsibly, I live bet the Packers when the game was tied, parlayed it with the Bears, bada bing, bada boom, won a little plus money parlay on Christmas Eve there. So Anders Carlson kicks the game-winning field goal for the Packers right at the end. Don't cover the spread somehow, which I can't. That was gonna be my bet. Like I forgot to do it.
Around
And
6.5, right? Or
yeah, it
something
was
like that.
5. I think it was 5.
Okay.
And I was saying to myself, there's no way the Packers don't cover this spread against the Panthers. And of course, they did not cover it. I can't believe the game was even this close to begin with. I mean, 33-30 at the end of it. The Panthers literally one of the worst teams in the league. The Packers barely can beat them. Not encouraging. It's more of a loss than a win when you win by that much against such a shitty team like them. But I mean, Jordan Love still has a good game of 200 plus yards, 2 touchdowns. Aaron Jones finally, I feel like, had his first like best game this year. He
Yeah,
had
he was
127 rushing yards.
yeah,
So,
I think it was first in rushing.
and so that's great. Love that. Romeo Dobbs was cooking it up per usual. Yeah, but almost blow it at the very end, and Pack could be typical Packer fashion this year, but we get it done, get the win. And now we're gonna move on to next week. We need to win out these next 2 games that are a chance to make the playoffs. And Jair Alexander now suspended for what he did in this Panthers
Yeah,
game.
tell me about that because that was very interesting.
Jair Alexander, a Carolina native,
Yep.
was upset that he was not a captain. So there's only 3 captains from each team that go on the field for the coin toss. He just went out there. It was him and the 3 captains with the Carolina guys. And he almost cooked us on the coin toss because they won the coin toss. The Packers won. And you usually say you want to defer when you want to kick the ball first. When you want to be on defense, you say we want to defer. And Jair Alexander just said defense. We want defense. And they said the ref stared at him and everyone was like, what? You mean we want the ball? We want to defer? So they ended up deferring, but he almost just fucked us over and he wasn't even supposed to be out there,
Oh
which is
my
why
God.
he got suspended. But it sucks because we're going to play Justin Jefferson in Minnesota in a game that we need to win in order for a chance to make playoffs, and we're not going to have our best corner guarding him. So, like, sweet. Like, thanks for that. Jair Alexander did not need to do that, but just honestly a stupid ass thing for him to do. And he just looks like a fool in the post game interview.
Yeah, that was wild. That was
Yeah.
really wild. When he's just sitting there laughing like it wasn't a big deal.
Yeah.
Like I know he obviously he didn't see a suspension coming his way. I don't think at that particular time, but he was just laughing like he was on cloud nine. He's like, "Yeah, coach didn't know I was I was Carolina native. I was Carolina guy."
It's like all
what?
my teammates were laughing with me.
Like that's supposed to justify it.
Like what?
He's like, "Yo, all my guys, yeah, they had my back though." I was like, "What?"
And he's
And
like,
I did like the report. It's like, you almost ruined everything.
yeah.
Paraphrasing what he said, but that's basically what it was.
Like, I mean, I said defense is pretty easy to understand. Like, what are you like? Don't be out there if you don't know. Like, if you're gonna go out there and do that shit, don't fuck it up. And then you did that.
Yeah, don't double down.
Then you maybe wouldn't have gotten suspended for that. But you went out there and you fucked it up.
You do what everyone does. If you're gonna do that, just don't say anything. You let somebody else talk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
you be that guy like, I'm not even supposed to be here right now. That's what you're supposed to be. That is so crazy that is like, yeah, not only will I just not be here, I'm not supposed to be here. And then I'm gonna be the one that steps up, and that's just so crazy. That's so funny.
Not a good look.
No, definitely. Yeah. And then getting this suspension, like you just said, in a must-win game, playing against arguably the best wide receiver in the league. And of course, I get to play against him in fantasy, but that was probably bound to happen anyways.
But the Vikings announced today that they're starting their 3rd string quarterback. They're not starting Dobbs or Mullins. It's some guy I've never heard of before. So I don't know if the Vikings are trying to lose too, but I love to see it. I'm going to see if I can find his name.
You can probably pull him up in fantasy. He'll probably be available.
That's
top available in the quarterbacks.
I saw him earlier real quick. Hang on. Just so I can confirm his name.
I'm blanking.
Hall.
Hall.
Darren Hall. will
Okay.
be starting for the Vikings.
Okay. I can only hope that they do not have a good connection between Hall and Jefferson. I do not want to hear that at all on Sunday.
I saw there's because Packers defense has been so bad this year. Some Packers pages I follow, they're like here for you Vikings fans already, and it was like Hall, and it was like 500 passing yards, 6 touchdowns.
Yeah, no, it's probably what's gonna happen. Yeah. And it's on Sunday night. It's gonna be the last game. It's gonna be a roller
No,
coaster.
if we get cooked by this guy who I've never heard of before, then I don't know. We'll see what happens. But come on, Packers. This could be a good chance for us to still win this game and get Hy Alexander back for the last game against the Bears, which could be a crucial one at Lambeau.
Yeah, that'll shape up to be a nice one, depending on also how the Bears are looking like too. Got other Packer guys? Any other final thoughts?
Go, Pack, go. I got a Jordan Love jersey for Christmas that I should have had on right now.
Oh, there you go.
But come on, baby. The future quarterback. We got Killed Tony on
there. You go. Represent.
Tony, yeah, I'm all good on the Pack, baby.
Yeah. I didn't really see a lot of it. I was on my way to Soldier Field. This is my first game experience. Brought the bird, brought the gal. That was fun.
Wow.
But overall, just getting to Soldier Field, kind of crazy, kind of bonkers. That's why I'm glad we Ubered there and didn't take my car. And Ubered back, same deal. Walking in, walking out wasn't bad. But overall, this experience, being in there for a game for the first time, absolutely awesome. Small. So it just feels a little small. It's a little tight when you get in like the lower section, just walking around there. But I think we hit all the big parts of it. I think the only thing we missed was the pillars. So probably one of the probably most important part of it. We missed it, but no, we hit the bear. You can wear the Bears helmet and you can see how big your hand is compared to Justin Fields, and you're like, okay.
What?
Yeah, shit like that. So it was fun walking around like the 200 part. Shout out to my fellow IMS student, Scotty Kiefer. He's over doing pitch talk over on twitch.tv/sportstownshy right after I do mine. Those substitute for sports live. So you want to catch some soccer talk, catch it out there.
Soccer talk.
Yeah, a little bit of pitch talk.
Football.
Yeah. But he hooked me up with the tickets. They have season tickets right there. So that was fun. That was cool. Nice little deal.
Yeah.
But I mean, phenomenal seats. South end zone, row 5. There was the way that it is even if there is people in front of you, there's not like it's not ridiculous. Unless they're humongous, but no.
You see touchdowns in that end.
Yeah. We it was 2-2. We got to see Fields score, and then the Greg Dortch touchdown. Which again, I said it right in front of the Cardinals fans. They were right in front of us, and I'll say it again. Hate to see it as a Bears fan, but man, that was so damn athletic and awesome to play. Awesome to see. I got to tip my cap.
Yeah, that was a crazy touchdown.
Skirting him out of his cleats. So that was a fun play to see right there. The Justin Fields play. The Cole Kmet 50-yard reception was actually towards our end too, so that was pretty cool to see him. Like, that's a catch. Just go anyways. Who cares? Go. It was probably going to be a reception anyways. But even watching on the south end zone and watching them go northbound, doing a play, either Kyler Murray leading the Cardinals or Justin Fields leading the Bears down it. I loved watching how a play was developing on the other end and then how it would flip and come on the other way, so I can watch the defense and how it was so much fun. So I was saying earlier again how maybe a football game might be, for lack of a better term, compared to all the other games and experiences, all the other games you can go see professionally, I think it might still rank as the bottom. But I still loved the experience itself. So, I mean, I guess that's better. So I've completely flipped that perspective for now, for sure. Maybe it'll fight going with a baseball game, but a playoff baseball game, I mean, that's pretty. Yeah. You're just waiting on every single pitch. That's pretty intense. I don't know. I would have to be for a playoff football game now, because we've been through a playoff baseball game. So
we have. That was awesome.
Yeah. But overall experience was fun and amazing. Both myself and the gal had an amazing time walking. If you walk right into the south end zone or south gate, You'll see the giant team sports shop that they have, the NFL shop. So we walked in there, bought some stuff. Of course, had to get another Chicago Bears Christmas sweater added to the collection.
Yeah.
So I'll be rocking that probably sometime next week. Between that, just seeing him everywhere, seeing the seats. I didn't know. Shout out to him. Maybe he's watching. Maybe he's definitely in the couple of group chats. Tommy, didn't know you were right behind me, but a couple seats up, a couple rows up. Yeah, I saw him later on his story. I didn't swipe up on his. He didn't swipe up on mine. It's okay. We're adults. We don't need to. You don't need to do that all the time. It's okay. But I'm just saying, I thought it was pretty funny. Didn't see him at the game at all. Just thought it was just cool. Just like a lot of people were at the game actually. A lot of people.
Yeah, it seemed pretty packed.
Christmas
Bears
Eve
fans are always there, man. Soldier Field,
packed up, ready to roll. Even though it was just a game against the lonely old Cardinals
on Christmas Eve.
Oh yeah, that was the thing. So it was fun to see a lot of Grinches. I myself had my Santa hat on with my Santa connected to as a Santa beard, so that was fun. Got some good compliments on that, and overall it was a good face warmer because while it was perfect weather for a football game in December, 50 degrees, nice. 50 degrees, clear for what for mostly what it is, and then no snow, no rain, no nothing like that. It got a little bit cooler, as you're at the lakefront. That's naturally bound to happen, but beautiful night for football.
It was really nice on Christmas Eve.
And if that's it's going to be spoiled if that's going to be my first experience weather-wise for a professional game. And next time we go, it'll probably be like a blizzard or some bullshit like that. I just saw a Broncos clip of someone who's like, "Oh, why is the field all clear and I'm stepping in snow in the stands." I thought that was pretty funny. I don't even know where it was.
Complete different weather from last year when I was in Lambeau in December, and it's like 10 degrees snowing.
Yeah, you spit and then it turns into ice before it even hits the ground type deal.
There. Yeah. But again, I loved every second of it.
Yeah.
It's Lambeau, baby.
Overall, the game was fine. Going out to a 21-point lead, everyone's like, hell yeah, Bears. Oh, I also forgot. 2 plays in.
Oh yeah, I wanted to ask about that.
2 plays in. Not only does DJ Moore go down, so it allows everybody to take some time. 2 plays in while we're in the stands, a fight breaks out.
How?
A fucking fight breaks out. Guy, I mean, it was, to be fair, 3:25 game, Christmas Eve. So maybe a couple brewskis, people having some eggnog in them.
Did you hear them arguing or something?
I did not. I did actually. The guy that got involved walked right in front of me and he had said something to that person to the left of me already, so I could only assume he had said something stupid to the person he was fighting with. And he had the higher ground and fucked it all up, and ended up the younger individual that he was pulling a fight with, that he was throwing hands with. He didn't seem to throw any hands. He was just kept pushing him, kept pushing him in the face type deal, and just kept falling back.
Good.
While the older man was, like I said, trying to swing and do anything. Security went, nabbed him, kicked the older man out, and the younger guy got to enjoy the rest of the game, as he rightfully should. The crowd was like vouching for him. He's like, no, it was this ass wipe. He's doing stuff. He was fucking with everybody else.
Which one was the Bears fan?
They were both Bears fans.
Oh,
yeah.
Both Bears
That's unfortunate.
Fans.
That's the unfortunate part.
Why are they fighting? Why?
Fuck if I know, dude.
Come on.
Like man. I said, that the older gentleman was throwing side comments. Apparently, my girlfriend had overheard that someone somewhere is like, my back hurts, and he's like, oh, your girlfriend should give you a BJ to help you out or something like that. Or so, it was some comments like that. So that where his head was at. All in outer space like that.
I mean, he must have been annoying if it happened that early.
Legitimately 2 plays into the game.
Unfortunate.
So while it wasn't fortunate that DJ Moore went down, it did allow us the quick couple, a minute or two to turn to my right, at least while I was in the stands. Quick fight. Got it on the Snapchat. Hopefully everyone got to see that really quick. It wasn't anything special. Like I said, if you saw it, it was just some pushing and shoving. But I thought just absolutely hilarious. Absolutely hilarious.
That's your regular scheduled program.
Exactly. Back to the Bears game. Back to them giving up all potentially blowing leads. If the Cardinals were a better team, they probably would end up blowing yet another lead like that, I'm sure.
I thought that they might, we were watching it over on Christmas Eve, me and my brother and some of our relatives, and yeah, we were just like, they really might blow this game. Like it was like they really might do. Like I didn't think they could, but it was coming to a point where Dort scored that touchdown, and we were like, oh no.
Yeah, that was the oh no moment too. A lot of people were saying oh no, but then they end up going for 2, and it's like what do you? It's like
that was stupid.
Yeah, that the momentum then somehow swung back to the Bears. They kick a couple more field goals and end up just winning the ball game.
They handcuffed themselves going for the 2 because you only go for. I feel like you go for the 2 when you absolutely need to.
Yeah.
You kick the extra point, then you're only down by 8. You're down 8, I think. 7 or whatever it was.
Yeah,
but still,
with that touchdown, down 8, could have been kicking the extra point, just down 7. Still a ton of time in the fourth quarter. Against have been somewhat figuring out against the Bears defense while that game was going on. Eberflus doesn't make any halftime adjustments. And that was the big thing. Come halftime, no more Cole Kmet. He left and he was doubtful the rest of the game. DJ Moore was banged up basically the entire time. No real adjustments. All 104 yards essentially in the first half for Justin Fields, and he finishes with 170 yards passing on the day. That's not good. That's not good against the bottom of the barrel defense like the Cardinals. So I don't want to keep bringing up the whole thing of what to do with Fields. I'm going to leave that to the daily guys on 670 and ESPN 1000 because that's the only thing that everyone can just rely on nowadays. That's the only
topic of interest.
That's every single time. And I was thinking about this. The only time that Justin Fields is not is under fire and getting questioned about, hey, what's your future hold, is literally while he's playing, and that's when he's deciding about what everyone's going to question him about. And it has to be constantly just an issue. So honestly, he's been nothing but a class act in everything that he has been.
Yeah.
The way that he answers the media has been nothing short of just being like,
he's never lashed out or never gone.
He's kept it beyond just full composure. So again, I think I already mentioned that, had that phrase, but tip of the cap to Justin Fields without a doubt for just keeping it together and composed. So while not the best performance, could have been worse.
The Bears are a first half team.
They are exactly
the second half is not good for them usually.
While 170 yards through the air, I will say 97 yards on the ground, so that helps. They did see watching that 39-yard rush again. Awesome.
That was cool.
That person. Seeing fantasy points in real life is cool.
It is.
Yeah. I mean,
it's very fun.
Yeah, absolutely. So that was ultimately very much enjoyable. At the end of the day, I'll take it for what it's worth. If they're just stringing together wins, if the Bears don't get into the playoffs, I know that was pie in the sky. It was potentially on the table, but even if the Bears don't get in the playoffs, just capitalizing, finishing out strong, and getting wins is what the Bears need to focus on and do.
Yeah, because they're going to get the first pick first. The Panthers are horrible. They're going to get the first pick, so why not win? Why does it matter what pick you get?
Yeah, I think, exactly that. If the goal is that, if you're not worried about getting the number 1 overall pick being Caleb Williams, then trade that. You can trade down a little bit and make up for your pick, your actual Bears pick going down to the 10th. Then I don't know what
still, I mean, even that's not that bad if it drops that.
Yeah, exactly. And it might be lingering around that. It might be a little bit less, but either way, that's still not that bad. Having a top 10 pick in the NFL draft is a good thing.
Yeah, Falcons having got 2 of them with 9th pick. It's like
that's who the Bears will be seeing next week. We'll see what Arthur Smith wants to do, because they'll be seeing Kyle Pitts, they'll be seeing Bijan and Drake London, but how much of it? Who knows? With Arthur Smith, you never fucking know, because while they do have a good rotation, you'll end up seeing Tyler Algier will finish how the fuck did he have 15 carries? Why? Why is Cordell Patterson getting 9 receptions today?
Yeah.
What? That makes no sense. So it depends on what Arthur Smith wants to do with that team against the Bears. I kind of already previewed that earlier today. So go Bears, bear down. That's how you do it. Rocking and rolling over there. So overall, like I said, first game, first experience was awesome. And just look forward for more. I guess I'll try to go to another game sometime next season or something like that.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
That would be something I'd love to do throughout my life. Try to get to all these different football stadiums. I've already hit 3 of them.
Yeah.
So I've been to Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I've been to Lambeau.
Raymond James Stadium.
I've been to Soldier Field. So Yeah, they're only 3 down.
You been to a Bears game before?
I have. It's when Bears won the North. Aaron Rodgers threw his first interception.
Oh, you went to a Bears Packers game.
Yeah.
Lucky son of a gun. Nice.
Me and my brother and some of his friends slash co-workers. Luckily some Packers fans were in the area, so I wasn't getting cooked by everyone. But yeah, it was Aaron Rodgers was having one of his best seasons. I think it was his first interception all year to Jalen Johnson in the end zone.
Oh, that's crazy.
Or someone on the Bears. But yeah, the Bears won the North that game. I remember being upset about it. I forget what year it was, but still cool seeing Aaron Rodgers. Got to see him twice, Soldier Field and Lambeau. So
that is really awesome.
Both losses.
Not a lot of people can say that.
Yeah, I will never forget it. One of my favorites. So I'll always remember that for sure.
Hell yeah, dude. If we're good on that, we can hit just around the league really quick. Definitely focus in more on teams that matter, teams that are going to go in the playoffs type deal. And there's a couple of matchups that are like just, we'll mention them, but no real reason to dive in on them. But yeah, hit the Thursday night really quick. We were at Iron Claw, so didn't see a ton of it, but still an important one worth mentioning. Rams take down the Saints at home, 30-22. It was an important win for the Rams. Like I said, they needed to stay in contention for that wild card spot. Any quick thoughts on that?
Yeah, I honestly did not see anything from the game since we were at the movie, but yeah, I saw Derek Carr had a decent game, and Olave was cooking. I know that. Oh yeah, 120.
Yeah, they more or less kind of got. They were getting shelled, and then they kind of came back. So it was 30-10, that type deal, and they slowly got back into it. The Saints did, but still looked pretty good. Did the Stafford with Nakua?
Yeah,
because Kyron Williams just was probably one, besides also Nakua, probably one of the two of the best, if not the best waiver moves in fantasy this year.
Yeah, Puka for sure. I mean, he's just been good all year long, regardless if Cooper Kupp's been there or not.
Oh yeah,
it's nice when you have a guy like Matthew Stafford throwing you the ball.
And I was one of those guys. As soon as Puka was going off, he's like, "Okay, well, watch out when Cooper comes back." And Cooper came back and it was like, all right, Nakua, you're still going off, but watch out when. All right, well, just watch out.
I mean,
all right.
I literally said I messaged you when Alan spent a bunch of points, a bunch of our fab on him, and I messaged him, and I was like, "Dude, look at what Alan got for Puka."
At the time, it was an overspend, but looking back at it, yes, it was it makes perfect sense to spend the amount that he did.
Yeah, it was totally worth it. I was talking.
It was like 30% of his budget at the time, or something like that. So it was a big chunk for.
It's like, what is Alan thinking? And then Puka just proceeds to have one of the best rookie seasons.
Be a top 5 wide receiver, a top 10 wide receiver all season long. So yeah, that's also like a dark horse NFC team in the wild card. If you get them at home, even if you are a division winner, look out if you're playing against the Rams. That's just all I would have to say.
100%.
Saturday night games there were 2 Steelers and Bengals. Mason Rudolph right before Christmas. I mean, that writes itself. I mean, come on.
I didn't even think about that. Yeah, that's crazy.
I mean, yeah. And NFL writers, I know what you're doing. We see what's going on. But it was George Pickens having 4 catches for 195 yards and 2 scores. Jesus. It was Najee Harris had a pretty solid game, if I remember. I don't remember his stats off the top of the dome, but I think he also scored. Steelers just let him have it. Browning and the Bengals just couldn't really keep up without Jamar Chase. That seemed to be the storyline.
Yeah, and yeah, like Mason Rudolph having a superb game. Pickens showing out after people talking shit about him for not blocking.
Yeah, that was that thing. He showed that on the sideline. He caught the touchdown. He was just like looking at he mimicked it, like showing like the Twitter, like, oh, don't do this. I'm like, he's like not listening, or I don't know what he did. You could look it up. You could see
that was bogus as hell. That play of him not blocking.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
but he had a great game against the Bengals.
Yes, he did. Yeah, so he made up for it for sure. That seems to be the thing. When Deontay Johnson got called off the next game, he had like 2 touchdowns or something like that. It
just makes them angry.
Yeah, it just gets them mad and upset. Other Saturday night game was Bills Chargers. Way closer than it should have been, without a doubt. Bills should have ran away with this, beat this team by a mile. And I mean, just completely, the Chargers completely checked out. I don't know. I have any other ways to put it. This fraud label still belongs to the Bills, even with this win. I don't even know what else to say on that.
Yeah, I mean, Bills might sneak their way into the playoffs if they keep getting these wins. Chargers were able to keep it close thanks to Cameron Dicker, which I just have to say, in one of my fantasy leagues, I had Cameron Dicker and I dropped him for a different kicker because I was just like, the Chargers are bad. They suck. There's no way that they're going to even get into field goal range. And then he had 23 points, I think it was.
He went crazy.
So I was like, for show. That just pissed me off. But great. I mean, not great game for the Bills.
Because
but
the Bills just kept turning it over. That's what allowed the Chargers to be in such good positioning.
Stick.
Easton Stick.
200 yards for Sticky. And Gabe Davis was the big receiver for the Bills. Not too much of Stephon Diggs.
I did like that tweet from Big Cat. He's like, every 4 games, Gabe Davis, or like once every 4 months, Gabe Davis is the best receiver of all time. Or something like that.
There's just some game where he has 3 touchdowns and just 100+ yards, cooking everybody.
Yeah.
So he had
on like 4 or 5 receptions too. He'll have like 70-yard bomb.
Yeah, he had 4 receptions for 130 yards and a touchdown against the Chargers. Yeah. So
it just feels like that every time. But I still say like the Bills should have won by 100, and they need to do that again this week. They need to come out, just stomp the Patriots out and win by 1 million. Otherwise, I can't sit here and say the Bills are going to be. They'll be another just first round out as a wild card team. Probably, in the AFC. If you're playing like that, they will be another first round out. So that's
I'm not confident in them this year as much as I have been other years.
I wouldn't be either. Browns Texans, as we watch the Browns play the Jets right now. Browns Texans. They Joe Flacco just continues to sling it. He continues to sling it in this game as well. So both kind of sticks with it. 36-22 victory for the Browns on the road. Amari Cooper. That's it. That's the tweet. 265 yards on 11 receptions, 2 touchdowns. Thank you for not playing him, Ivan. Thank you. That's the sole reason I'm here. That's the reason. So I appreciate that.
I could have literally that's a game changer right there.
Oh, without a doubt. That is all the game right there. We'll get to the fans.
I was playing him in another league, so
playing against him or playing
against him. So thanks for that, AJ.
Yikes! Yeah, that's a tough one.
I was just opened my app and I was like, oh, he has 50 points right now. Cool.
The third best performance in the semifinals of all time.
Wow.
According to
definitely advance people to the next round.
Oh yes, and of course him being inactive tonight is crazy. Again, if you were probably relying on him for in your championship
another big game.
Yeah, that's a bummer right there. But yeah, that just goes to show you. I mean, later on down the line in this game, it's improved. It's looking like that now too, being up the way that they are, 34-17. I think the score is right now.
I think so.
If Joe Flacco leads the Browns to a playoff berth, and somehow, some way, they play the Ravens and Lamar Jackson. God, again, you're gonna sit here and tell me that there aren't NFL writers? Get the fuck out of here! Like, get out of here, man! Like, come on. Okay, I get it. There aren't, but like
a Baltimore legend.
Yes,
and Joe Flacco.
I do love the Stavi baby. Stavi.
Yeah,
he's gonna have a field day. He's gonna have a tough time. That Ronnie character that he does when he does the Baltimore Ravens guy. He's gonna have a tough time deciding what he wants there because he loves Joe Flacco. I love me some Flacco. I can't even do that. Can't do the Yinzer type voice that the Baltimorean would have, but he's gonna have a tough time picking between his Ravens and Joe Flacco, I suppose. But that was the game right there. Browns beat up the Texans, and I know it was we'll get to the Jags, but it was a wash there. That was huge for the Jags because the Jags lost, the Colts lost, and the Texans lost.
Wow.
So that's all a wash. Commanders, Jets. Jets win 30-28. Nothing really. Had a huge lead, let them get in, and just wasn't really much to it. I didn't see it. Jacoby Brissett will be the Commanders' next starter. Will be the starter next week. That's that.
Yeah, I mean, it's just 2 shit teams.
Yeah.
Someone has to win.
I
And
believe
that's
both.
exactly
Yeah,
what happens.
both I'm pretty sure are eliminated from playoffs. So again, not really worth the time on this one. Seahawks and Titans. Seahawks get essentially a last minute touchdown for the win, for the dub. They win 20-17. Seahawks just keeping pace with the Rams. I think the Rams might have a game on them in the, what would it be, the tiebreaker. I think they might have the tiebreaker on the Rams, or the Rams might have the tiebreaker on the Seahawks, but I'm not entirely sure on that. But still keeping pace with the same record right there. It was an important one right there. Any thoughts on that?
No, Seahawks need to keep winning right now if they want a chance of making the playoffs. So that's, good on them. Close one here, 3-point difference. And yeah, they're able to get the win right at the end there, basically off that touchdown, like you were saying. So
Falcons, Colts. Heineke just didn't turn the ball over, and that's usually what happens when Falcons wins. Just Falcons games in general. If they just don't turn the ball over, they end up winning. So they get the big one right there. Kind of a tough break for the Colts when they don't have their number one receiver, Michael Pittman Jr. I figure that's going to be why the score was what it was. But overall, Taylor Heineke is going to stay the starter as the Falcons quarterback. Ritter, you're done.
good.
Ritter's done.
Heineke's a good game manager.
Yeah. I don't care how many Jordans, Air One, Air Forces he buys. You're not gonna feel good and play good against the Bears this week. Yeah, I said it. Lions and Vikings. Lions clinch the NFC North for the first time since 1993. And like I mentioned before, I think maybe crime is going down.
Yeah.
And because the Pistons are losing so much, crime might negate itself. I don't know. I didn't see the correlation this week.
The Pistons have the now worst losing record in NBA history.
Yeah, that's
losing streak.
Detroit basketball. But onto the Lions, 30-24, big win for them. And it's not like they could put their feet up and just like, hey, we won the North, we got a spot. They could also still win the number one seed and get a bye with the Niners. We'll get to the game and it's just a little bit, but Niners losing like they did, they get a lax game right here. But if this is a look ahead game against the Commanders, big opportunity for the Lions. So
yeah,
there you have a big game there. Jags, Bucks, huge win just in general for the Buccaneers. They needed that one. If they win this week, they clinch the division. So that was kind of that right there. Like I said, Jags. They fell off so hard.
Yeah,
luckily, luckily, like I said, it was a wash with the Colts and the Texans also losing, but boy, oh boy, they're just barely holding on to this divisional lead. One thing happens or another, they could just be out of the playoffs like that. Like I don't.
And I thought they were legit contenders earlier on when they beat the Bills in London and all of this stuff. I was thinking, man, they really
London
might be able to beat some good teams, but little do we know the Bills have been kind of frauds this year. And Jags have just been not doing well in this.
I'll give it to him a little bit. Trevor Lawrence getting banged up. That's not, having your quarterback.
It's not
your
good.
Number one guy be all banged up is pretty tough. Every single week it seems like if it's not his ankle, it's his knee, then it's his shoulder. He's getting hit. He's getting hit a lot. So that's the thing. They get an easier matchup against the Panthers this week. So we'll see what happens. I think Trevor Lawrence is playing. So that'll be a get right game for the Jags if I've ever seen one.
Yeah.
Cowboys and Dolphins. This was the big one. Another big drop game for the Cowboys, a 22-20 loss for the Cowboys. Dolphins win 22-20. I still haven't caught up entirely on the Hard Knocks. That's been fun seeing that little clip with Dan Marino.
I haven't seen that yet.
Yeah. Hop to it. Very much very fun. But just look at the box score. That was just an interesting one. And just overall, it kind of made sense. Tougher defense, but Cowboys always seem to, when they need one, they drop it. So, any thoughts on that one, really quick?
Jason Sanders for the Dolphins scoring all of their points essentially.
Yep.
5 field goals. They scored 1 touchdown. The Dolphins, but the kicker getting the job done, counting on his hand
I did
after
see
the
that. Yeah.
last field goal.
Yeah, that was
So
crazy.
sorry, Cowboys. Stephen A.
Everyone
laughing
gets
at you.
confident with that head coach, so that's fun to see. McDaniel.
Oh yeah, he's a great. I mean, I'd love to play for him. Who wouldn't want to play for him?
Absolutely. Sunday night football, Patriots, Broncos, 26-23 final. A loss so bad they're benching Wilson next week and the week after that. They're saying financial reasons. I believe them, but boy, oh boy, that is an awful loss. Not even officially eliminated from the playoffs, and they're benching him because I think if he goes down for a long-term injury, they're going to owe him so much money, something like that. So
they want to cut him,
and that is the report that they want to cut him come the offseason. So that's just beyond nuts. I did also think the nuke sounding of the field goal hitting the microphone at the top of the field goal stand. Did you hear that? Did you see that? I heard that went around. That made its round. I thought that was really, really, really funny. It hits the upright and goes off to the side, so it's no good. But it just sounds like a like it sounds like a nuke going off in Call of Duty. It is so crazy. So that was pretty funny.
I'll have to see that after this.
Really quick, the Christmas Day games. Besides, I know there was the NBA Christmas Day, but now NFL is getting in there and making its just squirting it's swimming its way in there.
I didn't watch any NBA games because the NFL took me over.
Yeah, fantasy stuff going on. I popped in every now and again during commercials, but it was all football.
I wish I watched Luka though.
Yeah, that was a good nightcap.
50 points. Just cooked the Suns up.
Yeah,
so I wish I saw that.
He sure did.
He's my guy. I mean, I'm not a Bulls fan of Luka, man. I love the Mavs.
Yeah, that is fun watching him play ball. That was a treat.
I've had his jersey since he's come in. Basically, I mean, he's just so damn good. I love watching. I say it all the time. Every week, every day, I feel like I'm seeing a video of him. Like Luka, 30 points, 10 rebounds, 10 assists, like 30-point triple double.
And he's just as young as he is. He's only going to get better, and he's just going to add more to the record books. That's going to be so much fun to watch Luka just dominate.
He hasn't won MVP yet, which is ridiculous. He has to be in that
company when you got Jokic just being so dominant.
Yeah,
Embiid is as much as it wasn't an MVP season last year. Arguably, it's just he's a tough cookie to go up against with there.
Yeah,
so.
He'll get his. He's the definition of an MVP. If he's not on the Mavericks, they're literally nothing at all.
That's true.
So, I mean,
he'll get his. Don't worry. But the Christmas Day games, Raiders Chiefs. Raiders didn't complete a pass after the first quarter and won this game from those defensive touchdowns. That is a tough, and that's a real stat. That's from ESPN. That's not just me pulling a stat out of my ass.
I can't believe it.
That is a real stat. Aiden O'Connell went 9 for 21,
62 yards.
62 yards. Yeah. Let that settle in, Chiefs fans. That's a tough one. Beyond that, Isaiah Pacheco gets a concussion. He went down. He left the game. The run game just wasn't looking good the rest of the way out. Patrick Mahomes screaming and shouting wasn't enough to get it done either. Or the Taylor Swift, all the memes involved in there. So, wow. Raiders Chiefs in the opening fucking game. Did not see that upset there at all. Did not see that.
Yeah, the Raiders were plus 11.5.
Yep.
Underdogs.
That is, and the win outright by 6. That is bonkers. Another one that is big favorite, but didn't pan out the same. Giants cover the 12 points. I think that the Eagles were favored by 33-25 in favor of the Eagles. And again, similar to how I was talking about the Bills, should have ran away with it by a mile. Not very impressed. Tyrod Taylor comes in. He will be the starter next week. Goodbye, Tommy Cutlets. That's about it right there. Yeah.
That's over. Maybe you should bring down that 20K price back to 10 to show up at that pizza.
He did. I think he was.
He showed up for free.
Yeah, it was you that told me. But for the memes, you need 20K.
It was fun.
It was. Finally, the nightcap. Ravens Niners did not see this coming the way that it was. A lot of people probably didn't either. Ravens get a huge one, 33-19 off of Purdy just giving the Ravens the ball four times on 4 interceptions. his worst start, I believe he had, he threw like 250 and some change on the passing yards, but 4 interceptions. That's his worst start of his career. Going from minus 220 to
plus 1,000.
Like plus 1,200 for MVP odds
after one game, which is wild.
Yeah, very much so. I think Lamar Jackson got the nod for a couple more. Maybe his odds boost up, but it probably should be like Prescott or Hurts or something like that at this point. It kind of has to be depending on all the stats and the numbers.
Yeah, Lamar's been great though.
Yes,
I can't deny. I mean, it's good. It will be a tough decision for him. I mean, people say Christian McCaffrey should win.
I was just about to say,
so.
maybe finally give it to a position player. We'll see beyond a quarterback. But yeah, that was maybe the big that was for sure going to be the big highlight game of the week. That ended up being more or less the the blowout / like, oh, holy shit, how's this game panning out the way that it is? But 4 interceptions will do that. And I would say if you're the Niners fan or if you're just the Niners themselves, you're kicking yourself on the loss for sure. But giving the ball up 4 times, not getting a turnover on the other end, and only losing by 14, it's not that bad. It's a bad loss for sure.
Yeah,
but at
4 interceptions.
Yeah, if all was even and you had the same amount of possessions, I think the Niners probably could have taken that home. I'm not saying that for Scherzen. I would just sit here and say it would have been a much more competitive game. I think that's fair to say.
Could it be a Super Bowl It could be.
I got that ticket. So let me cash that. That'd be nice. Like, I think I got it at plus 2,000.
So get the loss out of the way now.
Yeah, right? Yeah, that'd be quick. So that's that. That was the week. That was Christmas Day, Christmas Eve, and then the Saturday in between. This Thursday. That was all those games. That was week 16.
Wow.
How about quickly get into some fantasy? Fantasy talk. So we got championship week. You got points already being scored as this Thursday night game is coming to a close. I think there's about 7-8 minutes left in this fourth quarter. But yeah, we can get to exactly that. How do we want to start this off? Do we want to go with you want
to do your matchup first?
Oh yeah, we got to go with the recaps first of all. Yeah, we'll just recap my matchup and the other matchup the only matchup that was last week before we get into this week as well. So there we go. I'll do exactly that. Myself and Ivan squared off. Why can't I see that? Come on, man.
Jesus, Brock Purdy -1.
Yeah, dude, that was a bummer. That was a bummer. But I'm hopefully looking for a bounce back. He's no longer questionable. Yeah, that was the thing. 139.8 to 113 victory over Ivan. Even with Purdy giving up 4 interceptions, McCaffrey helped out. St. Brown had himself a day. Njoku similar to tonight, but shout out to Young Hueku, 19.5. He just kicked his way into a phenomenal game against the Colts. That was a big part. On the flip side, started off similar to what I said on the podcast, I think last time, when I was like, I'll come out of the theaters when we see Iron Claw and I'll be down a couple points to Kyron Williams. And sure enough, that's how it was. He had 17 on Thursday, but only 3 from Cook and another 9 from Mixon. So it kept me settled and grounded. It was, like I said, when Purdy started throwing interceptions, that's when I got back in the game in my head. I'm like, fuck, this is completely fucked. But I also don't look at the app while everything's going on. So my math is probably off by a mile. So glad I was able to make the right choices for a little bit. Could have had a couple more points here and there, and so could have Ivan, because like I said, he had a Cooper with 55. He also could have had Zay Flowers for 22, and some additional points in the Browns defense as well. So
Amari Cooper would have won.
He would have single-handedly won in the game. Yeah. That's that. So
that's I'm sorry. That must be so rough, Ivan. That's It is what it is, though. That's fantasy, man.
Yeah, absolutely sucks. I mean, it wasn't without a fight, like I said, for losing by a couple there. 17 from Kyron Williams. AJ Brown had 14 after having 1 catch for 7 yards in the first half. He then proceeds to just go crazy in the second half. I'm like sitting there, I'm like, are you kidding? Do something. Come on. Anything. Ayuk having 18, Ingram had 16 and a half, and then Jonathan Taylor had 10, but he had a touchdown. So we're working with a negative game script. That's still pretty decent that he had 10 there. So overall, I was very, very, very happy that I was able to get by without that, and very happy that he didn't play Amari Cooper. So that was that. Uh, enjoy the victory, and hopefully we're into the championship round. We're praying and hoping for the correct outcome of the W here. So, any thoughts on my game before we head on into Dom and Pete?
A big win for you, man, regardless of Purdy's horrible night, and you move on to the championship Super Bowl.
Yeah. That was that. Dom and Pete right here. Dom gets a even 145 to 113 victory right here. Let's see. It was the collection of wide receivers here: 26 from Lamb, 27 from Jefferson, 27 from Mike Evans. Add a sprinkle in a little 11 points from Rishi Rice as well. So that ought to be nice. That was that for sure. That was all those points from all those wide receivers. That's going to be for sure. That almost just short of 90 points on three players. That's going to help out a ton. It was not without a little bit of fight from Pete. He had 23 from Hurts, 21 from Elliott, and 23 from Jahmyr Gibbs. So that was a solid try there. But it was Courtland Sutton having only one target, I believe.
Why is he have nothing?
He got injured.
Oh,
He ended up
my
getting injured in the
God.
middle of the game. So I didn't see. I actually see some of that game. I think I was doing some wrapping up some gifts and stuff like that. But yeah, unfortunately, down went Courtland Sutton and didn't get much after that.
Still, even if Pete had James Conner in, he still would have lost. So
yeah. So there's a couple points here and there, but I think more or less the full impact, full lineup, I think it still would have went Dom's way.
Yeah.
Well, go ahead.
This is, I mean, yeah, Dom moves on, and this is, for me, I think this was how the best case scenario for the playoffs, because Dom and Nick right here have never won the championship yet in all these years. So this will be nice. Pete will not repeat. We will for sure have a new champion this year that's never won it before.
Yeah, that's still our ongoing theme, still have not had a repeat champion. So see how that goes.
So this is very cool for me. I think, you guys, the feeling is awesome, undescribable.
I'm gonna throw up thinking about it. Like, I've been just constantly thinking about this. Like, this is the only thing I've been worrying about and doing and overthinking and strategizing. Like, already, like
I know how stressed out you get.
See, son of a bitch, fucking Ivan's adding Jason Sanders. I was gonna try and play Jason Sanders today. Damn it. And a nice little matchup. They're playing the Ravens. So see that I'm already getting pissed off about the kicker. Either way, like that's I mean, I'm just it's all I worry about and think about. So, and I know I'm just glad it is going to be. Yeah, I mean, as much as I would love for it to be myself, same thing. It's glad it's going to be get some new blood regardless. Yeah. So that's the best part. If we're good on that, we can just breeze through and quickly hit
all these
games that are going on in this week 17, the championship week, what decides everyone's seeding and place and
this is it,
final thing. So
final week.
How do we want to start? Do we want to go from bottom to the top to the bottom?
We'll start from my game. You'll be last. We'll do 7th place, then 5th, and 3rd, and then you.
All right, that works.
Me and Sebastian already getting cooked. It's the 7th place game. Free tall is 24 for Sebastian. Sweet. And the Jets defense has 13. That's nice.
Yeah, they have a touchdown, I believe.
I had 40 on my bench. Wasn't paying attention really at all. I mean, I did look at my lineup earlier, but wow, I should have started Ford over Drake London, because he's probably going to get nothing against the Bears. I didn't even really look at this till right now, live on this podcast. So bad move by me. Drake London going to get cooked probably by the Bears defense, who's red hot right now. I still have a decent team. Josh Allen, Kamara Eckler, Stephon Diggs, all those guys. So it will be hopefully a decent game, close one with Sebastian, but obviously don't want last place. But if I get it, it's whatever. Had a pretty bad year this
Yeah,
year.
we're not a
So
punishment league, so it's it
no
is for just shits and giggles.
punishments are who does punishments? Come on.
As you're in a punishment league.
Hey, whoa.
Hey, whoa, that's not what we're talking about.
I did not know about that. But yeah, hopefully I can win this game, and good luck to you, Sebastian, man. 7th place game. He made some moves to fill in the spots that he needed to, so it will be a close one for sure.
Honestly, low-key, he had Joe Flacco in the lineup and he dropped them for Kyler Murray. So we'll see how that plays out. Joe Flacco not having the worst day so far. You can quickly see how many points he had. 26. That's a solid start for a quarterback right there. So there you have it. And Kyler Murray hasn't practiced all week. He's been ill. He's been sick.
Wow.
That's Kyler Murray sneezing. I'm looking at your guys' squad. I like Eckler against the Denver Broncos. I almost said the Denver Nuggets. Against the Denver Broncos, that's a lackadaisical defense right there. Flip side, obviously, you got to deal with a ton of problems there. But yeah, maybe Ridley against the Panthers. Yeah. I know the Panthers defense against wide receivers and probably quarterbacks is like in the red. That's just probably because I don't think anyone really throws against the Panthers because they don't need to. That's just my thinking. I might be entirely wrong on that. I mean, maybe the Panthers just lock down defenders. That's haven't been watching a ton of Panthers football this season. Because they're not really on red zone either. So
yeah.
But that's more or less where my head is at. I think that could be a solid game there. So good luck to you guys right there. That ought to be fun. How about that? How about into battle for fifth place, battle of the Allens? We got Allen Gator and AJ Schleims ready to go right there. How's that? How are we doing there?
Yeah. Allen projected the win as of right now. Justin Fields for Allen going against AJ's Dak Prescott. Again, they both have solid teams. Unfortunately, weren't able to make it farther here in the playoffs, but we'll be going up against each other here. Looks like they have their lineups pretty much set. Puka projected the most for Allen out of anyone except for Justin Fields. And
crazy.
Just showing how good of a year he's been having. And yeah, it should be a good one here between these two. I don't know. They could make some moves here or there if they want to change some stuff out, but yeah, I mean they're pretty much set in stone. AJ also, solid team. Saquon and Swift, Devontae Adams, Laporta, who's been one of the best tight ends this year. So should be a good one. Battle of the Allen Gators.
Yeah. Favorable matchup for Derrick Henry, but I believe the last time out, Derrick Henry played the Titans, or they played the Titans. He plays on the Titans. Last time he played out against the Texans, 16 attempts, 9 rushing yards for Derrick Henry. Wow. So that very interesting. He got most of his scoring on a couple of receptions right there. But that's that. I still like the matchup. I think he can flip it around, get a little revenge against it. Obviously not revenge against the team that he's played for, but just revenge in the sense that they shut him down last time. Maybe he'll bounce back in that sense. On the flip side, yeah, it could be another big one from Nakua. And I don't think that's obviously not a stretch saying that, but he's just been on such a tear. Rams need to keep going like that. That's the bulk of their offense. Wouldn't put past that could be a good game right there for Nakua and also for Henry. I'm losing my mind. When you record 3 shows in a day, that's what ended up happening today. I'm draining. I'm low. I need another Mountain Dew before I head out. But yeah, there's that game. How about third place game? How are we looking right there? I can quickly look through that.
Let's see. I mean, as of right now,
I got Ivan and Stinky Pete right there. As of right now, like you were just about to get into, Ivan has a 17-point lead on Pete with the Browns defense. Seemed to be the only play right there between the two of them. But Ivan has Tua, Mixon, and Kyron Williams, AJ Brown all ready to roll. And might get Jamar Chase back, so that could be huge for the Bengals in general. That still need to get into a playoff run possibly, but huge for Ivan. That could have been also been a big factor and get some points. And also on the Pete's side, getting another big receiver is Michael Pittman Jr., who I believe looks like he passed concussion protocol, going to get the start. Has a question mark next to him, but I think he's probably going to end up getting the go. So that's a huge comeback there. On, like I said, on Pete's side, still has Cooper Kupp to complement Michael Pittman Jr., Jahmyr Gibbs, and out of nowhere, what was no value now has all the value is Ezekiel Elliott, because they keep throwing the ball to him.
Yeah.
I can't believe it. So he had 9 receptions last week, caught another touchdown. Zeke killing it in PPR right there. So a solid start right there. What any thoughts right there in that game?
Puka projected more than Cooper Kupp. That's kind of crazy. Cooper
That's the
Kupp,
year we're having.
one of the best receivers. Yeah, and Puka, a rookie, projected more than him. That's wild. I just was looking at that. That's crazy. But I mean,
again, jokingly, we say Cooper Kupp systems wide receiver. What? I don't know. Just fun, just all fun and games here. All fun and games.
Yeah, we're just joking around. Yeah, I mean, you went over it pretty much. It will be a good game here for sure. But we know what we want to talk about here. It's the Super Bowl, man.
This is the champ. This is our fantasy Super Bowl, our fantasy championship. And like I said, I want to puke. I want to throw up. I constantly anxiety ridden about this. I've been doing my best not to just become so OCD ridden as I once was last year with it. I'm just constantly thinking like every single thing that I do affects my fantasy team, like the way that I walk, the way that I talk. I'm like, oh, did I count to 3 enough times? Hopefully that has maybe that has something to do that the way that my team performs on the fantasy. It's got nothing to do with it. They just got to go out there. I got to pick the right players, and I don't know. They just got to go from there. So that's fantasy. That's my mind. Currently have a little bit of a leg up right now with Ninjoku having just such a solid day like he did. 17. He had a fumble, but still has 17 right now in the day. A couple other question marks in terms of just people that are just a little hung up, not showing up to practice. So maybe that can change with another day left to go. But I'm still just crossing my fingers on a few names. But I'm rolling with the boys. We got McCaffrey, got White, got Etienne Jr., got St. Brown. Like I said, already got Njoku playing. He's got 17. So love that. On the flip side, it's not easy at all. I mean, obviously Dom is here for a reason. Like you look at the record, whatever. It's an 8-man league. It is what it is. But this is I'm like, this is a tough team. This is a tough team. Like, look at this. I mean, he's got CeeDee Lamb. He's got Jefferson. He's got Mike Evans, who's just bound to go off at any particular time. You had already mentioned it. No Jair Alexander. So just handing Justin Jefferson about, I don't know, 10 to 12 easy open targets, essentially. Just a matter of him catching the ball, which he will, and then just how far he goes. So I'm expecting the worst, even though, like I said, the projections can be all my way right now. I can have this little mini lead. I'm still dreading everything right now because Dom's team at any particular time could just go off. And it's that wide receiver core that I am just dreading to see what happens. And I'm not even stopping at Evans. He's got Rashee Rice too. Like he's got the hook right there. Like there's no walk in the park, no way, shape, or form. Yeah, that's why I'm like I said, we'll go back and forth and we'll say, oh, you won, I won, you won, I won. Dom, congrats, bud. I mean, this is all yours. I mean, this is all yours, dude. So I got nothing. That it is what it is. Just another just that's it. I'll leave with that. Congrats.
Wow. I mean, I would just say a little bit of what I was already saying earlier. I mean, this is it. This is for the belt, the new belt that we just got. Pete's gonna have to hand that thing over to me, and we're gonna hand it to one of these two gentlemen. New fantasy ring, new prize money that we just did this year. One of them will be getting $140. Woo!
Still, oh yeah, we agreed the second place gets their money back, right? Or do we?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right, I was thinking about that the other day.
That's right. Yeah. So Dom he'll get If you win, then Dom will
Well,
get 20. If Dom wins, you'll get 20.
yeah.
Regardless of how it goes, someone will get their money back for the entry. The other person gets the rest. We only did $20 entry for the first time this year. Maybe we'll raise it later dates, but for now, decent payout,
Yeah.
decent title, decent ring that the winner gets. I feel like we do a good job with all of that stuff and a good incentive for winning, and just to go along with the bragging rights. This is it. This is what you fight all year for. I mean, this is what you set your lineups for. This is what you stress out for every week. You want
This
to
was
get in this
17
situation.
weeks of our lives.
Yeah.
Every single year, this is 17 weeks, and this is what it comes up for.
Well, the whole season, multiple months, more months, even when down the season's not going on, getting ready for the draft, picking your players.
I just wish like how your phone comes up and shows you like, oh, you looked at your phone screen for this long today. I just want a stats on just you've been in fantasy, you've been deciding on who to add drop for 70 minutes this year or something like that. You've been mulling over who to start between Russell Wilson and Kyler Murray for 45 minutes today, like something like that. Like I need updates like that. I don't need anything else. So that's where my head is at constantly in the fantasy. Trust.
I want to just say best of luck
to
you and Dom.
Yes, best of
whatever, however it goes. You both will deserve it either way. And I'll be excited to hand the belt over to either one of you. Yeah. So we'll see how this goes, man.
I need this bad. I need this so bad. If we're good on that overall, like you said, Kamish, you had the final word there. That was good. Good little word. Exactly that. Good luck to everybody else. And if you're in between this league and if you're in other leagues, good luck there as well. Hopefully get your lineup set, get everything checked. Like I said, Thursday game already coming to a close. Got 2 minutes as we're recording. By the time it's posted a little bit later, game's already be
37 to 20.
Yeah.
It's looking like
Saturday games and then all those Sunday games, 10 noon games, got 3 afternoon games, and then just the 1 night game.
Wow. Heavy saturated morning games.
I wish they switched up just a teensy bit, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
But if you're good on that, we can move on to some there was some quick college ball, but I think for the sake of time, we'll kind of just breeze over that or just kind of just quick thoughts. Alabama, Michigan. Michigan's favored by 1.5. What you got there? Anybody?
I mean, if Michigan steals their signs, then we've got Michigan, but this is going to be a sweaty game for Michigan. Did not want to see Alabama.
Yeah, that was the thing.
So this will be a good game.
That was the thing. I got Bama. I'm going Roll Tide. I'm gonna just. My idea was who's been there, done that. Nick Saban is the guy that has been there, done that. Beyond that point, I can roll with all the cliches or stuff like that. I don't know the stats. I don't know the players, where they come from, who their mother is, and stuff like that. I don't really need to know what their high school stats are, stuff like that. Michigan doesn't really come to play around this time of the year. Nick Saban has, again, he's been here with worse teams. He's gotten farther with worse teams. This isn't the best team necessarily, but they can get done. I do like Alabama being plus 200 just overall to win the Natty. I thought that was pretty. This is going to be your best price to get them if you would think they're going to win. This is going to be your best price for any one of these teams.
Yeah, there's the 4 seeds.
Yeah, so definitely just pick one. Obviously, don't gamble responsibly. But if you're rolling with Alabama, this is going to be your best time to get it. They might be underdogs to if Texas if Texas and Bama is the matchup. That's who I have. I got Texas beating Washington in the Sugar Bowl. Texas favored by 4, number 3 against number 2 Washington. You got anybody between that game?
Yeah, I'll take Washington just to be the other side. Okay. I like the Michael Penix Jr. quarterback.
I do too. Yeah, I like that idea. I like Texas as a overall as a better team, but I also did hear that argument like name 2 other quarterbacks, maybe even just one other quarterback right now that is better in this 4 than Michael Penix Jr. I don't really think that you can. I mean, JJ McCarthy, I don't think is there. I can't really tell you the Texas or the Alabama current quarterback. Is it Tua? Is it to leave it? Exactly. I'm already.
Alabama quarterback. It says Milrow.
Oh,
Jalen
Jalen Milrow. Okay,
Milrow.
That's my bad. He's very much been talked about a ton. So
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm not too high on college football.
yeah,
Love it
I
so
dabble,
much.
but yeah, I need the names in front of me to know
Yeah.
exactly who I'm talking about. But yeah, I think that might be the matchup that's most exciting, at least in my prediction. Bama, Texas, and I'll just roll with Bama just for the idea of they've been there. But again, I'm not going to have my feelings hurt if there's another outcome from there. So yeah,
it will be a good college
I think so.
playoff
I think
for sure.
Yeah, I was going over like year in review type deal. This college football selection, this whole college football year was one of the more exciting things it's been in a long time. Maybe just for me, because I kind of just for the first time picked up watching college football just more consistently for the sake of gambling, but also for the sake of like just knowing what I'm talking about, because this is exactly a conversation that can come up. So I just thought that was the case right there. College football is that was a big draw this year without a doubt. And I think it's gonna be an even bigger draw next year with the 12 team playoff coming up next year. So that's gonna be without a doubt.
There's gonna be that many teams being added.
Yeah.
God damn.
Yeah, dude. If you thought that it was just gonna be a battle for 4, watch them try and fight for 12 different spots.
I mean, that's awesome.
That's gonna be
I love it.
It's gonna be a lot of these teams that you think they're gonna be down and out of it. It's gonna be it's not worth a spot. No, it's still gonna be exciting. So yeah,
give more. I love it. I always hate that with college. Only 4 teams make the playoffs, the main playoffs. Like why? It's not fair. Because there's other teams that definitely deserve to have a chance to prove like get to the championship game, or it's
you're exactly right. Coming up on about an hour
like what was that team that was like Florida State? They got fucked over.
They went undefeated. They don't
get a chance to play in the championship game because that's how it is.
That's the college football committee right there, and they will screw over less teams, I suppose, next year with that being in place. Coming up on about an hour 30. I said an hour 90, hour 30 right here. So we'll wrap it up with some quick wrestling talk. Any quick thoughts on Matt Riddle signing with MLW?
I didn't see that.
Oh, no? Okay, yeah, sure enough. Matt Riddle, the bro, real bro, going to
MLW. What is that?
It's Major League Wrestling. It's another like smaller company. David and Njoku's in our face right now. Oh my God! Thank you for giving me a couple points for today. Thank you, I appreciate it. But yeah, MLW signing Matt Riddle. Honestly, Impact's been more on the like big on the signing. They signed Trent Seven. Yeah. They extend Brian Myers. They extended a bunch of people. They got was it not Kojima, or is it Kojima, the guy that does the Back to the Future get up?
Yeah, that's him. Yeah.
Okay, so they sign him.
Or no, Kushida. That's
thank
his
you.
name.
Yes, exactly. I knew I was going to butcher it for sure. Yeah, tons of big signings there. But yeah, I think that was the other one that everyone was talking about. Matt Riddle to MLW.
I didn't see that.
Yeah, I mean, it could be could be a decent move. It just could be a big like meh. I also saw Mustafa Ali not signing with anybody, but doing like a big like Indies tour. He's gonna be facing El Gringo Loco at like a DCW event, and I think that's gonna be the positive, good run that Mustafa Ali kind of needs to get well versed, get his name back out there, not have that the WWE tropes that were kind of latched onto him. Let him show that he can work, and that should be this will be the nice thing to do it for him. So good for Mustafa Ali. I think that was more or less what it was right there. How about CM Punk making his in-ring debut, WWE debut, first time in 10 years at Madison Square Garden, beating Dominic Mysterio. From what I understand, it might be taken down just from copyright, but a fan footage of the entire match was put up that went viral. I didn't see it. I just didn't get around to it. Wasn't really going to bore myself with that. Already some shots like Darby or CM Punk doing the exact same thing he did in his first match at AEW. Is he just cosplaying his old AEW run in WWE? I don't understand. I don't get the gimmick. Maybe it's just CM Punk working at a more humorous level, a smarter level than everybody else. Yeah. But I don't know. They gave him a giant plaque, or not a giant plaque, but they gave him a commemorative plaque. They plastered it all over WWE socials, made sure everybody and their mother saw it. So cute.
He deserves it.
Yeah, no, he deserves it. Definitely not a carny business that proves the show that shows me further on that is exactly that. Nothing more than just a carny business. Who can pay the most money? Exactly him. That was that. I just thought that was interesting.
Yeah, that pissed me off. I guess there's 18,000 people there for a live show. I mean, you can't deny he's a draw. I hate that.
Oh yeah, no,
how everything
yeah,
turned out. It's just pisses me off.
yeah,
Man,
exactly.
still, whenever I see that, I just get angry.
Yeah, it's annoying. So there's that. But we got AEW's World's End match card. That's gonna be the final pay-per-view on the year, final AEW pay-per-view, final wrestling pay-per-view, basically in of the whole entire year. How about we quickly glance through the match card, pick out a few matches that we're really into and what we think we can get out of there. So we got the buy-in, a 20-man battle royal. That ought to be fun. Winner gets a future TNT title match. I don't know who exactly they'll push, but maybe like a Brody King type deal. I think that ought to be interesting. And speaking of which, I'll just jump to it. Maybe one of the matchups that we were going to talk about. No DQ for the AEW TNT title. Christian Cage, Adam Copeland. What are we thinking there?
That should be awesome. No DQ. I'm sure that they'll be doing some cool stuff, best friends, real life, been through it all. I'm sure they have cool stuff planned for
I figured
match.
if the Dynamite match was balling, this ought to be fucking stellar.
Yeah.
And there was a couple of people hating on the Dynamite match, but I think that was still pretty good. Again, you're overanalyzing everything. People just super mega hating on AEW. Any slight movement that they move, if Tony Khan farts in the wrong direction, people hop on the internet right away and they can't wait to write an article about it. So, guys, on both sides, just enjoy fucking wrestling. And I get it. We just went on this tirade a little bit 2 seconds ago about CM Punk, but that's just obvious shit right there. He's just an asshole. But again, we also countered it by saying he makes money and we can appreciate that. So I'll still buy CM Punk stuff because it sells well in the secondary market, but I'm not going to enjoy the guy anymore. I'm not going to just jump for joy when I see him anymore. That's just how it is. That's wrestling. There you go. There you have it. Enjoy wrestling, you son of a bitch. Swerve Strickland, Keith Lee, that ought to be fucking awesome. Yeah. Anything that Swerve Strickland touches turns to gold and hopefully gets the push there. Kingston, Moxley for the Continental Classic inaugural, whatever, they get the Triple Crown title. Goes to Kingston.
Yeah, probably.
He's fighting for his mother. He's doing it for his mother.
Moxley's had, he's had enough wins, I feel like.
It should go there. Wheeler and Hook for the FTW rules match. I don't know what that really means. Probably just Hook might have some outside interference. Julia Hart versus Abaddon for the TBS championship. Just glad Julia Hart and Sky Blue are tagging together. That's been absolutely fun to watch. This is what's scaring me though. If Tony Storm loses to Riho, I'm going to be very, very upset because this, honestly, this Tony Storm bit, this gimmick, her current character right now might be the best thing in wrestling, honestly. Wow. I mean, it's a little bit of a stretch. I know I say that. I got my guy MJF up there as well, but just definitely on the women's side of things. Hopefully it's not sounding misogynistic or anything, but just in general in wrestling, this is a very important character. Tony Storm is knocking it out of the park the way that she's doing this, and I wouldn't mind being Luther's character, getting to carry her around. Hey, don't. But if she loses to Riho, I'm gonna be super mad because I think the crowd is starting to finally pick up on that. Tony Storm is beyond over. Been there, done that with this Riho character. We don't care. Yeah. So there's that. Let me see. Miro, Andrade, Big Bill, Ricky Starks, Powerhouse Hobbs, Kyle Fletcher. So the Don Callis family, thank you, versus Jericho, Guevara, Sting, and Darby.
Second thing.
Yeah, it's kind of slammed together. Sure. That's a good go-to. Let Sting fill in his card of like he's got to get to city, he's got to perform there. So he's coming to a close as well. Anything else that I mentioned besides the final
last minute stuff on the card? I mean, I feel like they haven't really had much build up for matches with this whole tournament going on, which has taken up the majority of time on Dynamites and
Rampages. Yeah, and I've been 50-50. While I like the idea of just slam together good matches and not really needing a storyline. That's what justified this whole tournament in general, at least in my mind, how they build it up. But it did take away a lot of what could have been actual, potential time to create story and create things that people could have cared about and not have it be so, like you just said, slammed together at the last second type deal.
The MJF and Samoa Joe is really like the only thing
and
that is built up with these things.
That's exactly what we have left right here. Joey Samoa, MJF. Samoa Joe made a deal with the devil if he didn't see Dynamite last night, hitting him in the back after MJF loses the titles to clearly not fucking neck strong. I can't. It's Matt and Mike.
Oh, is that what you think?
I think it has them. It has to be.
So then Adam Cole's the devil.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. It has to be that. So I think that's gonna be the plan. Hopefully MJF doesn't drop the title. I don't think that'll be the case, but the devil does get revealed for sure at World's End.
It has to.
It's gotta be Adam. It's gotta be Adam Page. It's gotta be
this point.
Yeah. That's for sure the case in my mind. But I'm banking on just an overall solid night. I still got to get to Ring of Honor's last one. It was a final battle. Hearing Briscoe and FTR versus the Bullet Club, BCC. Heard that was an absolute just dog fight, and it was an absolutely great match. So still got to get into that. Overall, the whole card was actually pretty decent too. So
okay,
looking forward to that as well. Hopefully you're looking forward to that. Any other final thoughts on World's End? Any other lingering thoughts just in general?
No, I mean, regardless, it should be a fun AEW pay-per-view. They always have great shows, and I'm interested to see what happens with MJF and Samoa Joe, and it will be great matches all around. So.
I think so. That'll be absolutely phenomenal.
Regardless that they've been thrown together last second. But
yeah, AEW always performs it always performs again. While it'll stay the alternate or whatever it is, they're gonna always perform in terms of matches. I'm not always interested in storylines and shit like that. If you are, it is what it is. But.
And sign MJF so he's not at Royal Rumble.
I think there was reports that he already did that under the table, but that could also be just hoopla. All just hearing it through the wickets. But if you're good on that, I'm good over here. Check, please. Thank you, very cool. On episode 49. Again, holy shit. Wow. Coming up on almost a full, minus the 1 week where we didn't have one. We're coming up on a full year of No Substitute for Sports. It's exciting. It's absolutely fun.
Yeah, every episode has been great.
Can't do that without you to my right. Can't do that without you at home, watching, listening, liking, subscribing, sharing us around on every single platform that we have, whether it be Twitter, YouTube, Spotify. What else? I still got a MySpace set up for this account now too. So
no.
I do not. But we appreciate you taking the time, listening. Like I said, like, sharing, subscribing. Alan, taking your notes, whether you're in the dome or on the paper. Shout out to them too, Alan and Troy. They're in their championship league too. I got to make sure.
Are they?
Yeah, Troy wanted me to make sure to mention that at home for everyone there. It's a battle for who's buying Culver's. I believe that's the big thing. So if that's the case. Gonna get what was that, curd burger?
Oh
yeah, gonna look forward to some curd burgers.
Cheese curds for everyone.
Yeah, that ought to be looking good. So hopefully you're feeling that. Hopefully you're looking good as well, and everything else in between. Good luck in fantasy, gambling, everything else. Have a happy and safe New Year. Do not do anything I wouldn't do, which means it's not saying a lot, but it is what it is. Take care. We love you. We'll see you.